Okay, yeah, I'm a clumsy fingerstyle player, but I had a little bit more practice tonight because I retracked that part. I deemed it necessary. So here's a little update for everybody. This is far from finished, but I think you'll agree that there's been progress of some kind. I'm building the sound stage, the space, the geometry. And if I didn't have to get up here in a few hours to go off and make money, I'd probably be at this until the sun comes up, because I'm having a pretty good time, actually. Anyway, I'll go ahead and play it for you, and then just point out a couple of things that I've done with it to get this sound that you might find interesting. Okay, so I'll mute the microphone and away we go.
Mexican-American War. I fought in the American Civil War. Train killer blowing off boiler doors. Abandon the train, save your soul. Gonna burn up more than that coal. Howitzer, watch it burn.
Okay, so you may remember this this plug-in. You hear that? Hear that tail dying away? That pulsing choo-choo train of a reverb tail? I got to get my choo-choo train in there one way or another. Now, I don't think that can be written off as some kind of sound effect. There's too much art and deliberation in it. There's too much intention. I crafted that out of a reverb and some filters. And I even used this compressor. I even used this dynamic bandpass as a sort of a filter to give that to give it not only the pulse and the choo 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 choo, but to give it motion in 3D space. Can I make that claim? 3D? I would say so. Yeah. Well, okay. Once again, like last time with this plug-in, I've got a dynamic bandpass in the vocal range, the male vocal range. Now, what I did was I bounced most of that mix that you heard earlier down into one stem, which is this one right here. This is the kick drum. This is the new fingerstyle part, which I recorded with my old partner in crime, Lean Bear guitar here. So the Lean Bear guitar is driving that reverb that's making the choo-choo sound. But I am ducking that reverb in the vocal range. It's being triggered by the main mix. So it's being more... when my voice kicks in, it ducks the amplitude of that reverb in that range. But my vocal is not the only thing triggering it. There are other parts of the arrangement that are also triggering it, just not as strongly as my voice. You can see it bouncing up and down. You observed what it's doing, right? But what that does is it doesn't allow that reverb to just sit there at a constant amplitude. So that's the sort of thing that could cause fatigue in the listener. There needs to be some fluctuation, some variation to it. Another effect that this has is to further shunt the effect out into the stereo field a little bit. Gives it motion. Besides just the choo-choo-choo. It gives it spatial motion. Let me see. That reverb lives right here in this bus. And it looks like this. And I'm running it through this thing, a lo-fi grime processor. That's giving the reverb the texture of a steam engine going choo-choo-choo. Kind of a hissing, grainy hissing texture. And then that through a resonant filter. Because I want it to sit a certain way frequency-wise in the mix. I want it to kind of like poke through in just the right place, just the right range, you might say, which is right here, right there. And then that is going into the dynamic bandpass, being triggered by the main mix. And then I've got it... I've got that sent off for some extra saturation and auto panning So the whole reverb is auto panning left and right, not all the way left and right, but I don't know. I'll show it to you. Right there. A little over 50% to maybe about 60% left, 60% right, back and forth. So you can hear what it sounds like in isolation. Again, I'm not done tweaking this. It's just I'm still working with it, but I do need to get to bed. But I thought I'd fire off an update, like I said. Sounds like this. I might fade that in so it's not quite as loud in the very beginning, but I'm still going to be doing an intro. I still have other parts to track, you know. It's a constantly shifting landscape. But that's what it sounds like by itself. That's what happens if I take off the auto pan. So it's kind of giving it motion through all axes. That's without the resonant filter. That's with the resonant filter. That's without the dust box. Dust box is also giving it the choo-choo pulse. So, that's without the extra saturation. See, it's all working together to give it just the right intensity, just the right texture. I'm not saying it's all right yet, but it's getting there.
Yankee Buster,
And
make
then
it burn.
I'll mute it.
I've been through mountains,
I'll mute the send.
packed on mules through the plains. I can feel the melting flame hunting down Union trains.
Oh, well, you know.
Load the barrel, dropping powder, set the fuse. Taking down the Union blues.
That muting is a very important part of this whole process because it has to come to a point where, you know, you mute the effect and you definitely notice that it's gone, and you want to unmute it, you want to bring it back. It's not there yet. It's not there yet. It's like I mute it, and it's like, oh, well, you know, man, it sounds really good without it too, right? So it's not there yet. But again, you know, some progress is being made. You might have noticed that it's not quite as weedy and reedy and thin as it was. It's got a bit more body and depth and space to it, as was the idea. And there's some other things that I did to, you know, get it to this point, but I won't bore you with all that. I thought you might find that bit interesting. Okay. Well, I better hie myself off to bed. Hope this video finds you well, as always. God bless, and I'll probably be back with another update in the next day or so. Be well. See you then. Over and out.